personal favorite cycle or process comes from the work of Dayna, Laur, and Jill Ackers from a book called Fostering Natural Curiosity Through Project-Based Learning. So the 5 stages of finding a solution from Laur and Ackers begins with stage 1, which is all about challenge and purpose. This is a fairly short stage in which students are not just digging into understanding the challenge and having an entry event experience and things like that, but are also really being asked to understand the purpose of the project and the personal purpose that it has for them. This is, I think, an essential step when it comes to deeper learning, is really understanding not just I need to learn X, Y, and Z, but really understanding why we're here doing this. Why does this learning matter in general, and why does this learning matter to me personally? The second stage is information and prototyping, and this is all about gathering information. So this is a longer phase. This is a stage in which they are investigating from lots and lots of different kinds of sources. And it's also the stage in which they're going to create their very first prototype. And I should mention that deeper learning and project-based learning, design thinking, all of this learning is deeper and more meaningful when we can have opportunities not just to prototype, but to learn from experts, to get feedback on our initial ideas, to reflect over our growth, right? So those are all going to be essential steps in every one of these stages. Stage 3 is when we want to, it's called perspective and point of view, and it's the point at which students should be exploring new and different perspectives, right? So if I've already created something that I think is going to serve a user, whoever that user might be, this is the moment when I need to make sure that I check in with the users and understand what their needs might be. This is the point at which I want to make sure as the teacher that students are considering other perspectives, right? And that they're getting a chance to test out their prototypes and ideas with the people that those ideas are going to be for, right? So whether I'm prototyping something like a tangible physical object or creating an initiative or an event or whatever it might be, this is the point at which I should get some different perspectives in there. As a global educator, I would always say that one of the things that you want are different cultural perspectives, whether those are different local cultural perspectives or different perspectives on a global level, so that students are considering a broader array of possibilities. And at that point, of course, revising their prototypes based on some of what they're learning, getting another opportunity to engage with experts, getting another opportunity to receive feedback and to reflect on their growth. Stage 4 is actions and consequences, and at this point what they're really doing is trying to wrap up the work on the prototype so that they can definitively say whether what they have created is going to have the consequences or impact that they want to see it have, right? So this is a stage in the learning process where we're really trying to wrap up our work on the prototype with that core question of, has what I have created accomplished what I wanted it to, right? Is it going to have the impact that I wanted it to? And we're really trying to look to see whether our actions are going to have those consequences we desire. And then the final stage, stage 5, is very much a wrap-up stage. This is the point at which it's called considerations and conclusions. And the idea at this point is that we are figuring out how we want to share our learning with others. We're reflecting on our growth process, we're drawing conclusions about our experiences and learning, and we're also considering things that perhaps we might want to do differently the next time we're doing a project, etc., right? So that we're learning from our experiences. At that point, the prototype is finished, whatever it is, but we're really digging into the learning process. And I think I can't understate the importance of these feedback and revision and reflection opportunities, right? Because that's where the biggest growth is, and I think that's what defines the difference between deeper learning and more traditional learning. Is in more traditional classrooms, we tend to try to reach the standard, test it, and then we move on immediately. Whereas in a more student-centered environment, we're creating and maintaining time for reflection on our own growth so that students are ultimately learning to speak what Guy Claxton calls a language. He calls it learnish, which is that ability to articulate your own growth and to understand what you're good at, what you need to keep working on, and what you've learned from a given experience.